Time is 6:43. Nebraska has one of the highest employment rates for parents with young children in the country. 75% of young kids live in homes where all available parents work. To make that happen, many rely on childcare. And as we learned, it's an industry hit hard during the pandemic.
Yeah, me too.
The sounds of children learning and playing fill Tender Acres, a child care center in La Vista.
Childcare is such a vital part of our community for our communities to thrive.
Nikki Wilson's center opened in late 2018. They'd barely reached a stride as a new business when COVID-19 hit.
The pandemic changed things, but change is inevitable. So we took that change, embraced it, and have made it our own.
With enrollment down, they've adjusted their hours and taken advantage of loans and assistance on all levels. Still, it was nerve-wracking for employees, too. Fewer than 1 in 4 providers has paid sick leave.
They were very worried about getting sick if they had to be out 2 weeks. That economically upends their family already.
Kathleen Gallagher is the Director of Research and Evaluation at the Buffett Early Childhood Institute. They did surveys right away in March 2020 and again in August to see how early childhood providers were faring. In some aspects, not well.
And they told us they were under incredible stress already in March. Stress that was really about economic. They were already losing enrollment. Stress that was about health. They were worried about their own health and the health of their employees, if they had them. And they were very worried about information.
The stress continued as the pandemic prevailed.
Over half of the providers in the second survey reported that they were experiencing at least some symptoms of depression as we know it.
If Nebraska is going to be a great place to live, you have to have childcare. And frankly, towns, cities, regions that get the childcare right, they're going to be able to attract and retain, that young workforce.
State Senator John Stinner, who represents the Scottsbluff area, is the chair of the unicameral's Appropriations Committee. He introduced Resolution 390. The report worked off the Buffett Institute studies to assess the industry.
And the idea is really kind of putting people back to work and what are the barriers for those folks to come back to work.
Some findings: 231 licensed providers have permanently closed during the pandemic. 91% of counties are deemed to have a shortage of quality childcare. Stinner says there are short-term needs related to the pandemic, but he and others hope there's a silver lining. That this difficult time creates more conversation about long-term issues, like better pay for the industry.
And I feel like the emphasis and the importance of childcare is now in the spotlight.
Shining the light on the needs of an industry that allows others to stay in business by taking care of our most prized assets. Everyone we spoke with noted how private and public partnerships have formed and helped providers during the pandemic, but they believe more funding on various levels is needed to support the industry moving forward. There are more resources and research we've linked with this story on 3newsnow.com.